Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tanmay, and welcome to my channel. On this channel, I teach stuff like arts, crafts, and a lot more. In today's video, we are gonna learn about color theory, the color wheel, the various color schemes, and whatnot. Color is an extremely interesting topic for me because one of my favorite filmmakers, who is Zack Snyder, he is the only filmmaker I think who uses color right in his movies. Color is important everywhere, in photographs, in movies, in pictures, in paintings, in drawings, and everywhere. So you need to learn how to use color right. So for that, we are gonna learn all the basic things about color theory. So let's get it down. So what we are doing today is color theory. Hey, cool. So now, every kids know like what the first color. There are basically three types of color: primary, secondary, tertiary. Everyone knows what the primary colors are. So let's write them down. Number one, primary colors. Now there are three primary colors: red, blue, and yellow. You know what, let's color code them. Okay, cool. So those are the primary colors color coded, and now let's get on to the second type of color, which are secondary colors. Now, how exactly are secondary colors formed? So for that, we are gonna need to make a color wheel. So just let's get on with the color wheel. So to draw the color wheel, I'm gonna use a rounder, or many of, as you know, a compass. So you know what, just make a partition over here. Yeah. Cool. So let's draw us a big circle here. Just lightly draw it. Yeah, we'll make it black later using the black pen. So cool. That's a circle. So now let's make the spots for the primary colors. So three primary colors, they are gonna be done in this color wheel in a shape of a triangle. The first one is going to be here, the second is going to be here, the third is going to be here. There's a logic to that, I'll explain later.
Midnight, wasted, friends all around, faded, like we've got nothing to lose. Strangers in my sheets, wake up, rewind and repeat, but I'm still caught up on you. Nothing really mattered when we had it all. Happy ever after was an afterthought, and I've got to.
Alright, so these are the primary colors: red, yellow, and blue. As you can see right here, red, yellow, and blue. So now for your explanation, what are the secondary colors? The secondary colors are basically the mixing two primary colors. So if you mix red and blue, you're gonna get purple. If you mix yellow and blue, you're gonna get green. And if you mix red and yellow, you're gonna get orange. So those are basically the secondary colors. So let's just write them down. So when you mix red and blue, what are you gonna get? Purple. When you mix blue and yellow, you're gonna get green. And when you mix red and yellow, you're gonna get orange. You know what, let's color code these two. This color coding is, like the eye sees it better, and you can, make it out really fast. Boom, those are the secondary colors down there. Now the third type, which is, let's write it down. That third type is tertiary colors. Now what exactly are tertiary colors? Now to explain that, we have to draw the secondary colors in the color wheel. So let's do them. So now the secondary colors should be in between. The circles for the secondary color should be in between the two primary colors. So between red and yellow, about here, there should be the circle for orange. Between blue and red, the circle should be around here for purple. And between yellow and blue, the circle should be around here for green. So let's get on with it.
Baby, do you ever think of when we were together on the 4th of July underneath the fireworks sky? And I said, everything is perfect 'cause you're holding me. You and I together like we're supposed to be. 'Cause you need me and I need you. But that's just my point of view.
Boom, so these are the secondary colors, purple, orange and green. Now what exactly are tertiary colors? So let's get on to the sketchbook. The tertiary colors are the colors which get between the which are made by mixing a primary color and a secondary color. For example, if you mix red and purple, you're gonna get red purple. If you're gonna mix blue and purple, you're gonna get blue purple. And if you mix blue and green, you're gonna get blue green. If you mix yellow and green, you're gonna get yellow green. If you mix red and orange, you're gonna get red orange. And if you mix yellow and orange, you're gonna get yellow orange. Those are the tertiary colors. So yeah, they have pretty long names, and they are created by mixing the secondary and the primary colors. So let's make them.
Pictures on my phone remind me that I'm on my own, and I don't know what to do. Thoughts are useless, trying to make it through this. I'm still caught up on you. Nothing really mattered when we had.
Alright, cool. So this is it. We've got the tertiary colors down. So now let's count them and name them. So the basic rule of naming tertiary colors are basically when you start the name, take the primary before and then the secondary. For example, if you're naming this color, it's between red and purple, so name it red purple. If you're taking this color, you cannot name it orange red, because red is a primary color, orange is a secondary color. Red comes first, so red orange, not orange red. So like that for all the colors. Let's let's just name them right here. So right now I have named only the primary and the secondary colors, because let's just name the tertiary colors inside the circle, like Alright, cool. So this is it. These are all the names of the primary and the secondary and the tertiary colors. So now let's just list down all the the tertiary colors. Alright, so this is it. We've got 3 primary colors, 3 secondary colors and 6 tertiary colors. So you know what? Let's just make the color wheel look better by making the borders with a black pen and then like erasing the pencil marks.
Ever after was an afterthought, and I've got to know. Baby, do you ever think of when we were together on the 4th of July underneath the fireworks sky? And I said,
Alright, so this is it. We have drawn the color wheel quite beautifully, and it's really well done. I'm really proud of it. So after the color wheel has done, let's learn more about the color schemes and the other color types. Okay, cool. So the basic definitions of color. The first thing is called hue. You might have heard about this. Hue is basically the name of the color. For example, the hue red, that's the name of the color red. And the hue yellow, that's the color yellow. And there are there are more than 1 million colors, and these are just some of it. And basically all of these colors are created by mixing the colors in the color wheel. Now the second thing is the Now the second thing is the saturation of a color. Saturation. Now the saturation of the color basically means the intensity or like the purity of the color. Intensity or the purity of the color. So let's take an example of saturation right here. Let's take it around this color wheel. Yep. So let's make some circles around here. Cool. So now let's take the color yellow, because I like yellow. So just really lightly shade yellow in the big circle. Done. Now add a bit more pressure to it. Now add a bit more pressure to it. Now add the most pressure to it. So you see, from light to dark, but it's in its shade itself. So that is what we call saturation. Now the third thing about color is value. Now what exactly is value? Now value is basically the amount of brightness or the darkness on a hue. So basically if your hue is a darker shade, their value is quite high, and if it's on a lower like kind of a faded version, the value is kind of low. That's the basic definition of value. The darkness or lightness of a hue. That's the definition of value. Now the fourth thing what we're coming across is shade. Shade is basically the hue which is produced after adding the color black, or after the the low or the high amount of color by adding black. The color produced by adding black. Yeah, so let's take an example again. Draw a couple of circles around here. Now again, let's take a different color. Let's take blue. So just color these circles with blue, like the same kind of shade. No, not extra, not less. And so just lightly shade here with black, and now keep on increasing the amount of shade. And this is it. This is what we call shade. Let's write it down. Shade. Now the fifth type of thing is basically the tint. So tint is basically the opposite of shade. In shade, the color is basically the shade is what the color is produced after adding black. In tint, it basically is what the color is produced after adding white. The color produced by adding white. There you go. So there's no explanation, there's no really a needed explanation for this. It's pretty straightforward. Now let's go on to the sixth one, which is tone. So now what exactly is color? The color tone. It's basically the color produced after adding the color gray. Yeah, so basically in shade you add black, in tint you add white, and in tone you add gray. Now the seventh thing is temperature. Now temperature is also pretty interesting. There are two types of color: cool colors, warm colors. Cool colors mostly contain colors like blue, light blue, etc. And in warm colors you've got red, orange, and the colors like that. So let's list down the warm and cool colors. Warm colors are red, orange, and yellow. Now what are the cool colors? These colors are blue, purple, and green. So now all of these have a mix and match with primary colors and secondary colors. So basically in warm colors you've got two primaries, one secondary. Red, yellow are primaries, and orange is secondary. But in cool colors you've got one primary, which is blue, and two secondaries, purple and green. Yeah, so these are the 7 definitions of color related stuff. So yeah, that is pretty straightforward. That is nice. Now let's get on with color schemes. Color schemes. I really like the concept of color schemes. Okay, cool. So color schemes. Now in color schemes there are many types of color schemes. Color schemes are basically what makes a drawing with color attractive. It just they are the basic right combination of colors that look appealing to the eyes. So now let's see what kind of color schemes are there in the world. So the first color scheme which we know is a monochromatic scheme. Monochromatic schemes are mostly used in stamps. If you've seen any stamps, monochromatic schemes mean basically using just one hue and adding tints, shades, tones, and um, tones, yeah, all of those stuff, but using only one hue. That's the thing about monochromatic scheme. You use only one color, but you can add tints and hues and extensions. So basically you can assuming you're gonna get the in monochromatic color scheme, you're gonna get red, so you can do red plus white. You can do red plus black. You can do red plus gray. So basically you use only one hue, and adding gray, black or white, you make tones, shades and tints. That's the basic scheme of the monochromatic color scheme. The second color scheme which we know is the complementary color scheme. The complementary scheme. Now we have to refer a little to the color wheel, so let's get on to the color wheel for the complementary color scheme. So basically in the complementary color scheme, the color scheme basically consists of two colors. But what are the two colors? The two colors are the colors opposite to each other in a color wheel. Now let's make some basic lines so we can see what colors are exactly opposite to each other. So we've got red and green are a complementary color scheme. Red and green. Red, purple and yellow green is a color scheme in itself. Purple and yellow is a color scheme also too. Is a complementary color scheme. Blue and yellow orange is a color scheme too. Oops, sorry. Wrong color scheme. Sorry. Got it. So basically, blue, green and yellow orange are a color scheme in themselves. Well, they are not exactly opposite to each other, but yeah, sure, they are color schemes in themselves. Then we've got blue and orange. Those are color schemes in themselves. And then you've got red, orange and blue, purple. Those are also a color scheme in themselves. So these are the basic complementary color schemes. Let's just write the basic ones down. You've got red and green. You've got purple and yellow. How about we confirm it once? Won't I? Purple and yellow. Hell yeah. Purple and yellow. Then we've got orange and blue. So those are basically the complementary color schemes, the colors which are opposite to each other in a color wheel. Now let's get on with the third one, which is the Triadic color scheme. The name sounds pretty cool. Now let's get on to the color wheel once again for the Triadic color scheme. Let's erase these lines. Cool. So the triadic color scheme, basically it says, so the triadic color scheme contains three colors, the three colors which are evenly spaced across the color wheel. For example, let's assume red is our first color. Now what is, you can either take red, purple and orange because they are evenly spaced across the color wheel. We've got one here, one here. So yeah, so red, orange and purple can be one color scheme. You can take red, yellow and blue because 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. That's the thing. Then you can take red. Let's take a different color. Let's take green, purple and orange because 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Yeah, green, purple and orange can also be a color scheme. So yeah, like that, those are the triadic color schemes. So basically three colors which are evenly placed across the color wheel. Let's write them down. Three colors which are evenly placed across the color wheel. For example, red, blue, yellow, orange, green and purple. So yeah, that's the third type of the color scheme. We've got the fourth type of color scheme, which is a split complementary color scheme. Let's just write it down. This name also sounds pretty cool. The split complementary scheme. Cool. So now the split complementary scheme basically says that it's kind of like the complementary scheme, but it's split. Let me explain to you. So now assuming you're going to take your first color as red. Now in complementary scheme, what would be the other color, the opposite to red, which is green? But in split complementary, it's different. It's the two colors to the opposite of the first color. So let me explain it a bit. Red has a complementary color green, but the split complementary wouldn't be green because it's the two colors around the complementary color. So red, yellow green and blue green because it makes a triangle right over here. That's the main reason it's called split complementary color scheme, because it splits. Yeah, the complementary is kind of like this, and then it splits. So let me kind of like draw it a bit. It'll make better sense. So yeah, so it goes to green, but this line stops and diverges to the two tertiary colors. So we've got a primary color and two tertiary colors. That's the color scheme. So that is what we call the split complementary color scheme. Let's write down a example which we recently did was red, and what was the other color? Blue green and yellow green. Blue green and yellow green. It's pretty straightforward actually. So yeah, those are the color schemes. Now let's learn about what colors represent, how colors make you feel, how they it's basically color psychology, how a brain feels about the color. So let's divide this page. I like neat and tidy work. Cool. So yeah, now let's learn about color psychology. Cool. So let's take the first color as red. What does red, when you look at red, what do you basically think? So I think of danger, then anger, basically lava, hot, spicy and whatnot. There are various examples what you feel about the color. When you see the color, when you see blue, you see see sadness, you see dull, it's pretty dull, you see the sky and many things. Then it also kind of seems like professional, peace, etc. Now with the color black, what do you think of black? Black is like a really cool color, so I'm gonna write elegant. It's it's elegant because everyone wears black suits. Black is like the color of elegance. If it wasn't elegance, then why would everyone wear a black suit? Then you know what, sophistication, formal, etc. And now let's write down white. White is white kind of represents peace. That's like the basic definition of it. Peace, purity, clean, new, also kind of innocence. So yeah, that is color psychology. If you should research on what the other colors represent. Colors like green maybe represent for you nature, beauty and whatnot. Yellow is kind of attention seeking, Hufflepuff and whatnot. So yeah, that is today's video. This is the end of today's video. Thank you for watching this long. It's a pretty long video, I know, and color theory is just as important as well. So yeah, so make sure to do the assignments, the practice assignments, which I will give in the end of the video, and I'll make a video regarding to those assignments in the next video. And so yeah, I hope you have a nice day, and make sure to subscribe, like and share this video, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Goodbye.